Welcome to this workshop on reinforcement. What motivates my child to learn? What can I do to build my child's self-esteem and increase his independence? These are questions often asked by parents and caregivers. The answer is reinforcement. Children need reinforcement and praise to learn new skills, to increase independence, and to build self-esteem. What do we mean by reinforcement? Reinforcement is anything that motivates or encourages your child. It is any environmental event that maintains or strengthens an action or behavior. Praise, special activities, music, toys, and food can all be used as reinforcement. Essentially, reinforcement is a reward that is given or occurs following a behavior. Consider that in our day-to-day lives as adults, we receive reinforcement in many different ways. A pat on the back from a manager on a job well done is reinforcement. Weight loss after a week of dieting is reinforcement for eating properly. Reinforcement makes it more likely that we will repeat these actions or behaviors in the future. When learning a new skill or behavior, reinforcement can keep your child motivated and can result in quicker learning times with less frustration. When a new task is introduced, or when a task is difficult for your child to complete, it is especially important to provide a reward upon completion. For example, learning new skills such as toileting, dressing, or learning how to play a new game can be challenging for children. They will most likely need encouragement to stay motivated and to keep on task. Most children have a favorite snack or treat that they might be willing to do something for. It is these items that we can use as reinforcement. Consider the following types of reinforcement that you can use with your child. Social praise or attention is often described as the most natural type of reinforcement. Examples of social praise or attention include smiles, hugs, kisses, clapping, cheering, tickling, high fives, and verbal praise. Verbal praise should always describe the behavior that is being reinforced. Simply stating, "Good work, Jack," does not provide Jack with enough information about what it is he has done well. Instead, consider saying, "Great, you finished the puzzle, Jack." Jack will then be clear about what it is he has done well. Social praise is easy to deliver as it is always available and it should always be used alongside any other type of reinforcement you provide your child. Although some children respond to verbal praise, others may require more obvious forms of reinforcement to stay motivated. Tangible items are essentially any of your child's favorite items or toys. Examples may include toy trains, a favorite blanket, trading cards, or a spinning top. These items can be very powerful reinforcers for children, especially when they are not readily available during other times of your child's day. Remember that it is easy for a child to become bored with a certain toy or item when it is constantly available to them. The item or toy should be something that the child receives only on condition that they attempt or follow through on the task. One of the limits in terms of using this type of reinforcement is that it can become costly to be continually searching for items and toys that your child finds rewarding. Consider using small dollar store items, as they can be both handy and inexpensive. If your child has favorite activities, consider using these activities as reinforcement for appropriate behaviors or when a specific task has been completed. Examples of activities can include going to the park, playing in the backyard, watching a video, reading a book, or bouncing on a therapy ball. Activities are usually fun for both parents and their children and can promote social interaction. This type of reinforcement usually works well with children who are able to wait before they get their reward. Using food as reinforcement may work well for children who are not yet responding to verbal praise and are not yet motivated by items or activities. Consider what foods your child prefers. Do they enjoy sweet foods, salty snacks, or do their preferences seem to be based on texture? Before using food as reinforcement, it is important to take into account the nutritional value of your child's favorite foods. It is also important to move towards more natural types of reinforcement. Consider that there are very few occasions in life where we are given a goldfish cracker for behaving appropriately. A token economy system is when a token is provided after a desired behavior. Once the child has collected a predetermined number of tokens, he can trade them for an item or activity that he desires. Money is a classic example of a token economy system. It can be used to buy reinforcers such as food, housing, and entertainment. For a child who is motivated by traveling on the subway, an example of using a token economy would be that the child work for quarters to add up to $1 so that they can pay for their fare on the subway. This type of reinforcement works best with children who are able to wait before they receive their reward and who also understand the concept of working towards reinforcement. Again, remember that every type of reinforcement should be paired with social praise, such as eye contact, high fives, and hugs. To determine what motivates your child, observe what types of toys and activities your child is most interested in. Does he like to run and climb, or does he prefer quieter play? Does he like sweet snacks, or does he prefer salty foods? Provide choices when possible to help determine your child's favorites. Once you have determined what motivates your child, you're ready to begin using reinforcement to help him learn a new skill or to increase desired behaviors. When first introducing a new or difficult task, it is important to provide reinforcement upon any degree of completion. This will help your child to keep trying and to understand what is required. Let's use the example of a child who has difficulty sitting down at the table for meal times. Initially, he may require reinforcement for simply coming to the table and sitting down, even if he requires assistance from an adult to sit at the table. Reinforcement for coming to the table may be a desired activity or a small piece of a favorite snack paired with lots of verbal praise. While remaining at the table, the child should be reinforced from time to time for appropriate behaviors, even if assistance was necessary. To set the child up for success, initially the expectation may be that the child sit at the table for 1 minute, and gradually the expectation would be raised and time at the table would increase. Reinforcement needs to be faded gradually so that the reward does not become a part of the task itself. Some children may build the item used as reinforcement into the task and will expect to receive it each time the task is performed. After a skill has been learned, there should be a natural expectation that your child follow through without needing to be reinforced every time the skill is completed. Both the number of times that you reinforce your child and the form of reinforcement you use should be faded. Eventually, the food items used initially as rewards should be replaced with more social rewards. Also, the extent of the verbal praise and attention should decrease. Eventually, the only reinforcement your child should receive is the occasional pat on the back or toned-down verbal praise. However, caution should be used when fading reinforcement. If it is taken away too soon, the desired behavior may stop altogether. If this occurs, increase the amount and/or frequency of reinforcement given to reestablish the behavior. Once the behavior is fully established, reinforcement fading should be attempted again. It is important to note that just as reinforcement works for children when they behave appropriately, unfortunately, it can also work when children behave inappropriately. For example, if your child is screaming in the grocery store for a chocolate bar and you buy it to stop his screaming, you have just positively reinforced that behavior. Your child is then more likely to behave similarly next time to obtain a desired item. The best strategy during these times is to provide as little attention to the undesired behavior as possible. Once your child learns that his behavior will not get him what he wants, the sooner the undesirable behavior will stop. Reinforcement is a powerful tool to help children learn new skills, to increase motivation, and to boost self-esteem. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation on using reinforcement and hope you find some of these ideas helpful.